and welcome back to Debbie Kershaw Knits. I'm Debbie. I love knitting and this is a channel dedicated to the love of hand knitting. So today I'm going to be talking about my journey knitting the Seaglass Sweater. It is a finished object. I absolutely love it. Fits perfectly. Not sure if you can see it all, but I'm very, very happy with this. So originally I wanted to start using up some of my stash and I was looking for something stash busting. And I came across this pattern, Seaglass Sweater. Generally I came across it a few years ago, but sort of dismissed it as being something I maybe couldn't do. So I'm really happy that I have taken the plunge and delved in. So this is a design by Wool and Pine, a design duo. And they were inspired by the sea glass that washes up on the shore and all the different colours and how that might look, you know, in a sweater or a garment. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I looked at it and I thought, oh, it was a spectacular design, and indeed the pattern states that it's a wearable work of art, and I wouldn't disagree with that. So the way you create this is that every single row has got two colours on it. You knit one in the first yarn and you knit the next stitch in the second yarn, and you just repeat that all the way across. So there's various ways to do the patterning, but I chose to have one main colour and then just change every row. I'll be honest with you, I thought I'm going to get a bit lost if I don't. So I've had this beautiful duck egg blue, and I'm going to show you a bit of the colours a little bit more closely later. But I love the duck egg blue, and I thought I'm just going to bring stuff in from my stash that I've got to use up, and it's worked out really well. So let's take a look at how I begun, because I did a little bit of a modification. I put some short rows in the ribbon of the neckband or the collar. I didn't want my short rows to be plain and showing up. So that's what I did. So let's take a little look at a clip here and I'll talk you through it. So here you can see this is the very early stage of me casting on and deciding to put those short rows in the ribbon. I think you can see it around here. Basically I knit one purl one and I wrap and turned when I got to the appropriate place, and that's how I did it. And for me it's worked out very nicely. So that's how I got started, and it's worked out very nicely. The shaping has come through. And then of course I was onto the colours. I had great fun choosing the colours. I mean, I love colour. I love knitting with colour. Neutrals, not so much, to be fair, but you know, they obviously have their place and they're very much needed, but I just love colour. So I had great fun choosing the next one in the sequence. So I got to sort of like a 27 round repeat. So I got to 27 rounds and then I thought, right, I'm just going to repeat now the colours because it's all working very well. Some of the colours are used twice in the 27 rounds, and that's what I did. But you know, there's so many mix and match ways you could actually do this. You could just literally pull your stash, just start knitting and just make sure you do a different colour each time. So let's have a little closer look now at the colours I chose and what was it actually in my stash at the time. Let's have a look at a clip now. So guys, just shown you the progress on my Seaglass Sweater. I think I've got to about halfway down the body now, which is absolutely great. So you can see there where I've split for the sleeves, the yoke done, and working down the body. So I've got another 4 inches or so to go before I put the bottom rib on. But I thought I'd just have a look at the colours that I'm using. I actually did buy the main colour, and this is a Cascade 220 Superwash. I don't really buy superwash generally, but I just wanted this duck egg blue. It was just so gorgeous, and that was my base colour. The other colours are what I had in my stash. You've got a sort of golden yellow there. I honestly don't remember that one, unfortunately. I think it might be another Cascade. It's a really beautiful golden yellow. I'm running out. I don't know if I'm going to have enough for the sleeves, however. I've got a black in there. That black is Toft. I was lucky enough to find a big 100-gram skein in the charity shop of Toft black, and it's absolutely beautiful. I used it in a hat, and that's the rest of it. I've got a pink here from Drops Lima, a wine colour, that's Drops Lima. Now I did actually buy these two because I wanted those colours in my jumper or sweater. I've got a red there, it's from Sheepus. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Apologies to the Dutch nation. That's from their recycled range. Is it called Terrazano? Something like that. That's what I've got left, so I'm hoping that will go down the sleeves a little bit. Oh, not sure. That's my main colour I'm working with. I got this taupe colour. It's a baby merino, and I'm afraid I don't remember, but that's what I had left over from a project. So I've got that lovely taupe there. Also, I'm using a West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply held double, and that's their turmeric colour. Really lovely. I've got a sage green here. I think Drops Charisma, and Drops Charisma. Those three were left over from another project. Again, a fingering weight held double. That's Drops Nord, I think, but isn't that a beautiful, gorgeous green? Look at all the heather coloured in that. And finally, a Drops Lima in orange, but it's more of a rusty orange. And those are the colours I'm working with, and I think it's really lovely. I cannot wait to wear this one, although it's probably going to be hot summer when I finish, but hey ho, I'll have it forever after that, won't I? Working my way through the yoke and having a blast. Actually, I just love this pattern. I'm putting in the increases where the pattern states that you should, but I did frog once because I was going to do a braiding. That, you know, they do suggest you could, like with what you do with the ends, I was going to braid them all in, but I didn't like the sort of bumpy feel that was being produced, so I changed that. And I decided to go for this magic knot technique. Now, not used magic knot before, so I wasn't quite aware of that there are some issues with it. However, I've made it work for me. So I used the magic knot. When I came to having a look at some of them, they weren't quite taking. So the more rusticy yarns, like the more hairy wools, they were fine. They actually sort of melded together quite nicely, a little bit of twiddling about. But the more silky type wools, and I did have some more slippery silky type wools, were not taking quite as well. But there is a technique that you can do using a little bit of fabric glue. It's called fray stop. And I decided to use that on some of my knots. So before we take a closer look at doing that, so I'm going to show you what I actually did. I do also want to mention where I changed the colours. I didn't change them in the same place. So I didn't go to the beginning of round and change them. I started doing that, but then I was getting these holes. You know, it was very loose in that space and it wasn't really working for me. So what I decided to do was just take it round each time. So I'd take it like another 10 stitches round, maybe 11, 12. Go around a bit and then change. So in some places, you know, I've got double the things, but you can't, you know, your eye doesn't see that, and it doesn't take away, I don't think, from the pattern. So yes, magic knot. Would I do magic knot again? I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about it. But let's take a look what I did with the fray stop, the fabric glue, to secure them. So here I am with the fray stop, the fabric glue. Decided to use a small brush that I had to put a very small amount on. So I'm just going to work it into the centre of the knots where they actually join, and just put a little bit of glue on. You can see it's sort of white at this stage, but it does dry clear, I am told. So I'm just going to go around them, working it in. And this is an hour later. It has dried and it's clear. And it's also flexible. That's the good thing with fabric glue. It doesn't dry hard, it's quite flexible. So I'm very happy with that, and I feel like the knots are now quite secure. So just a quick note on the sleeves. This is me picking up the second sleeve. The pattern does say that some people are needing to go up a size. I didn't find I needed to do that. I sort of worked away down and tried it on, and it was fine. So I carried on. So for me, I was using a 4.5mm needle on the DK weight, and I continued with that for the sleeves, and all was well. The only thing I did do at the bottom of the sleeves, I did decrease a few stitches. It was quite wide for me. I've got a very small wrist, and so I decreased a few, knit 4, decrease 1, just knit 2 together, and then I did the ribbing, and that all worked out very well for me on the sleeves. And just a quick note on the Bindoff. I use the sewn Bindoff, the Elizabeth Zimmerman method. Very simple, very stretchy and very neat. And it worked very well for me. That's the Bindoff method I used. Okay, so that wraps up my Seaglass Sweater project. Have you knit the Seaglass Sweater, or indeed have you knit any of the other garments? Because they've got hats, they've got mittens, what else, a cowl, and they've a tee without the sleeves, which could be good for 4-ply yarns, I think. And they've just released the cardigan one, haven't they? Or quite recently anyway. They've released the cardigan, so you never know, I might be doing that in the future. But I do definitely want to do another stash busting or scrappy project. I love the scrappy projects. Do you have any recommendations? Let me know in the comments, because I'm on the lookout for another good one. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you knit the Seaglass Sweater or anything else? I'd love to see those as well. Let me know in the comments, how did you deal with the ends? Did you braid? Did you magic knot? Did you just weave them in? Let me know what works for you, because I'd love to learn from you guys as well. So just before I go, I would just like to show you another project that I'm working on in the background, and that is my teacher's pet socks. Hope you can see those nicely. Apples, just a little simple colour work sock with different colour apples running down. Now, I did release this about a year ago, this pattern, and there were a few issues with it. So I've sorted those out, and I'm going to reissue this now. The test knitters have done this for me, and it's going to be out soon. I'll let you know when it's out. But otherwise, I'd just like to thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you next time. I'm going to leave you with a sneaky peek of the next project I'll be working on. Okay, thank you guys, and see you next time.